The big phone review. 3 flagships. Which one is the best? Let's get into it. So today we're going to be comparing the 3 flagship phones to see which one is the most worth it. Which one is the best option for you to get. Now, we have the Note 9 to start. We have the iPhone XS Max as well as the Pixel 3 XL. Which one is the best one for you? Right off the bat, the one with the fastest CPU is the iPhone. The A12 Bionic chip is just so much faster than either of these two phones. It's kind of crazy how much Apple has packed into such a small chip. The one that has the most RAM, if that's something that interests you, which one can multitask the best, is the Note 9. It is expandable up to 8 GB of RAM, which is insane. That's the option we have in here. And the Pixel 3 has the least amount of storage, only at 128 GB. Google wants you to use a lot of its cloud storage options, so that's why they limit the amount of space on the phone. And the Note 9 can go up to 2 TB with expandable SDs, micro SDs. Now, with that out of the way, right off the bat, I want to say the one best bang for your buck. Which phone, if you're looking at these, you want the most amount of features for the cheapest price? The Note 9, right off the bat. But with that being said, which one is the best phone out of the 3 of them? Let's check them out. Now we're going to be going over a couple of the physical differences as well as a couple of features that each phone has that the other one just does not have. All 3 of them are pretty much 2 pieces of tempered glass sandwiched between a piece of aluminum along the bezel. It's very nice. It's a very nice package. All of them feel premium. But there are a couple things that the Note 9 has that the other phones just don't have. So for starters, like we mentioned before, it has expandable storage. It has that S Pen at the bottom. So if you are someone who likes to jot down notes quickly, you have that option to you. And it also has a headphone jack, a 3.5mm headphone jack. So if you have old-fashioned headphones, I can't believe I'm saying that. Old-fashioned headphones, Nathan. That makes no sense. If it's not wireless, you have that connectivity without a dongle, which is super important. Of course, at the top, you have your SIM card as well as your expandable storage slot. Now, to unlock the phone, you have a fingerprint reader on the back of it, as well as Face ID and iris recognition, which is a nice touch. So there's multiple ways to get into your Note 9. It's pretty quick. You put your phone to sleep, you can turn it on without even looking at it, which is something that the iPhone just doesn't have. You click it, it opens. Hold it down, you click it, it opens. The iOS phone is pretty straightforward. It's pretty basic. There is a lightning port adapter at the bottom as well as one speaker grill. On the one side you have volume up, volume down, a toggle switch that is to mute your phone or lock screen orientation. On the top there's nothing, and then on the side there is a sleep wake button as well as your SIM card. Now, a cool feature that both the Note 9 have as well as the iPhone is that they have dual SIM card trays. So what that means is that you can have 2 phone numbers hooked up to each phone, 1 business, 1 personal, or 2 personals if you want, and that's something that the Pixel 3 just can't do. And the Pixel 3 just has a fingerprint reader at the back of it. Super quick to unlock your phone. I feel like it is the fastest way to unlock it. As soon as I click, it unlocks. It's kind of magical. I appreciate that. Sometimes, you know, you're at night, you're like, you just want to turn on your phone. It's on, okay? It's just on. It's nice. The iOS one, you have to look at it. You have to be at the right angle, stare at it, and then you have to swipe up. It's just an extra step to unlock your phone. Some people may find that as a hassle. In terms of screen real estate, all these are in the same ballpark. The Pixel 3 XL is a 6.3-inch, 6.4-inch, and then a 6.5-inch display. Now, one thing to note is that the Note 9 doesn't have a notch. It just has a forehead and a chin, whereas the iPhone has a notch at the top, no bezel at the bottom. Pretty nice. But then the Pixel 3 has what you it has one of the weirdest setups you have. You have a huge notch at the top as well as a chin at the bottom. Now, the reason for that chin is because of that forward-facing speaker. So when you are consuming media, you are watching YouTube, you're holding it towards yourself, the sound's hitting you instead of hitting your hand. It's a nice touch. It feels good. It sounds good. That's important. So, which one is better for photography? You're on Instagram, I'm on Instagram. Which phone has the better camera? So, we have our trusty llama here to model for us. We're going to be taking a photo on all 3 devices. One thing Android phones have is a quick and easy access to your camera. You simply double press the sleep wake button and it turns on your camera. So we're gonna be testing 3 modes: the normal photo mode, the portrait mode, as well as the selfie mode, because the Pixel 3 and Note 9 have a couple of cool selfie mode options that the iPhone doesn't have. So normal photo, let's snap it. I'm gonna click focus on the eyeball. It looks good. Take a photo. Ooh, beautiful. Now we're gonna do portrait mode right off the bat. Step back a little bit, same kind of angle, focus on the eyeball, take a portrait. Looks good. We'll leave it at that for now. Alright, iOS, you simply click the camera button, or you swipe down from the top, click the camera option, or when your phone is asleep, you simply click the camera button and it goes into it, or while it's asleep in this mode, you swipe to the side and it goes to camera. So a normal photo right off the bat, how does it look? You click it, it looks glorious. Take a portrait, step further back. Ooh, that's a lot further back. Snap it, that's another thing to consider. Now, Note 9, same thing. Double click home, you're in your camera, looks good. Normal photo, live focus, also portrait mode. 3 to 5 feet away. Ooh. All right, here we go. Here is our beautiful llama in all of his glory. Click the eyeball, snap a pic. Nathan, predictions.
iPhone, Pixel, Note.
In that order. Very bold, very bold. Now, all 3 of these phones feature that adjustable bokeh, the blur in the background. How much of it do you want? You have that option. So if we click adjustments over here, if we slide down to the adjustments panel, we look at the depth slider for the Pixel 3. You can choose the amount of blur you want. Tap to change focus. I want the eyeball to be in focus. Let's blur out the background. So this is the most blur you can get on the Pixel 3 XL. It looks good. I can't complain. The detail, there's a lot of detail in the fur. The eyeball looks crisp. Let's go to the iOS. You edit it. Now, this is one thing that iPhones are famous for, sort of. They're the first people to bring on this adjustable bokeh. I mean, it looks good. It's a lot more blurred, I would say, than the Pixel 3 is. And then if you go over to the Samsung, I want it to click allow. Let's change the blur. A blur can go from 0 to a level 7. I don't really know what that means. Whereas on the iOS, you can see the actual f-stop. Lower the number, the more blurry. That's all you need to remember. Portrait mode, I'd have to say iOS wins, but then again, the Pixel 3 looks good too. The Note 9 is a bit oversaturated. It does this weird beauty effect to your face when you're doing portrait mode. The llama looks a bit blurry, even though it's sharp. It's still a good photo. It's just, yeah. All right. Nathan was right for the photos, okay? You wanted to hear it, you hear it. Keep editing. Save copy. I like the way that llama looks. Now, let's go into the normal photo mode, because this is pretty important. This is probably where you're going to be taking photos in normally. So, slide over. Look at these llamas. Which llama do you think looks best? The most color accurate llama, I would say, is the Pixel 3 XL. It captured that sort of pinkish, purplish hue that the iPhone sort of warmed up. The Note 9 sort of made it a bit colder, you know, a bit more harsh. But the Pixel 3, I feel, is the most accurate in terms of color reproduction. If you zoom in, look at that detail. Look at that fluff little there. You can see each individual strand of fluffiness. It looks good. Now, the photo right out of the camera without any editing that looks the most pleasing to the eye is the iPhone camera. The extra warmth makes it feel nice and snuggly, you know. You're looking at it, you're like, ah, this is a good photo. It feels nice. But the Pixel 3 XL definitely has the better camera. All right, selfie camera mode. Let's go. We have the iPhone camera. Looks good. It's a crisp image. How is the Pixel 3 for selfies? We're just gonna tap. We got our trusty llama. Take a photo. Ooh, it looks a bit like it's clipping. Interesting. Interesting. All right, here we go. Comparing all three, which one looks the juiciest? That is what I want to know. Where's our llama? Here we go. One thing I found when I was using the Note 9 as my main driver for a while is that it always did some weird effect to your face. It always tried to smoothen it in a weird way. There's no option to turn it off. I've looked through all the menus. I've tried to fix the selfie mode on the Note 9. It just looks a bit weird. Like, look what it's doing to my forehead. Does that... It looks like it's shiny, super shiny. Try to like smooth it out, but then it just makes it look weird. Between the Note 9 and Pixel 3, which one looks the most pleasant to the eye? I don't know. I feel like the Pixel 3 does some weird clarity effect to your face where it tries to brighten up the highlights and darken the shadows, whereas the iPhone is more of a flat image. I don't know, you guys be the judge. What do you guys think? Nathan, you zoom in on this. Which one looks better? I know you said iPhone, but what do you guys think looks better? From what I can see, the Pixel 3 is a lot more crisp. It is a lot more detailed. It also has that wider angle lens, if you guys can see. It does have that dual front-facing lens system, and that is what you're seeing here. It is a wider lens to the iOS, which I feel is more... It feels a lot more cropped looking at it. So if you are taking a photo with a bunch of people in the background, the Pixel 3 is the way to go. That does look extremely cropped. And I was holding it same length, okay? I wasn't like holding it back. Alright, so for the selfie camera, I feel like the Pixel 3 has the better selfie camera. It captures more detail. It is a lot wider. You do have that groupy selfie option, which the iPhone just doesn't have. And the Note 9, it just looks like a potato. It's also a wider lens, but do you want a wider lens on a crappier camera? I don't know. I feel like the Pixel 3 hands down has the better camera system, but everyone knew that. Alright, Instagram comparison. Which one looks the best on Instagram? Viewing photos. One thing to note is that the Note 9 has this infinity edge type of appearance to it where the screen sort of just folds away. It's a very nice touch, especially when you're looking at it in the dark. I imagine it's a super cool feature, how the screen just sort of folds into your hand. But the Note 9 has a very slender screen, and that sort of limits the amount of photo that you will see. On the Pixel 3, the images are a lot bigger. It has more of a square aspect ratio, the phone's screen, so you're gonna see more of the photo. But the one that we found to be the most crisp and the most juicy looking, so to speak, is on the iOS device. Now, both the Note 9 and the Pixel 3 sort of have this bluish hue to them, which is something we can't really get rid of. We went through the phone. I made sure that I have all the settings turned to default, except we do have the QOLED screen turned on, the highest resolution. The iPhone just looks better. Something about that no chin, no forehead situation with the notch. It's a bit intrusive, but it sort of feels more like the future. So, which one is the best for viewing YouTube content? One thing to note is that on Android, Google sort of gives it an extra feature that it doesn't give to iOS devices, and that allows you to watch content at a higher resolution than you can on the iPhone. The iPhone's limited to 1080p, 60 frames per second, whereas the Pixel 3 and Note 9 can go up to 1440p at 60 frames per second. Cool thing to note. So, here we go. Note 9 is up first. Full screen it. Turn up the volume. How does it sound? Cool tech. But what happens when you get all the tech you want? You know, you have everything. You keep unboxing things. You're not satisfied. You get the newest phone, the newest laptop. Look at that. Newest camera. Look at that. That's new. Newest robot. I don't know. What else can you get that's new? Newest drone. Yeah. Everything you have is the newest. What do you get next to make yourself happy? We're going to be looking at something today that I believe... That looks good. I don't know, something about that super long display, especially if you're watching movies with a wider aspect ratio. It'll fit the screen nicely without anything being cropped out, as you can see. But that is a very nice viewing experience. I like that. That's one thing on the Note 9 to note. It has a very good screen. It looks good. All right, here we go. iOS is up next. We look at a lot. All right, zoom in. We check out a How does that look? Tech, but what happens when you get all the tech you want.
I don't know.
You have everything. You keep unboxing things. You're not
Feels
satisfied.
weird. It's like
You
Inception.
get the newest phone, the newest laptop, newest camera.
It looks good, but that Note 9 though. All right, here we go. Last up, Pixel 3 XL. Volume button.
We're gonna be looking at something
Turn it up.
that I believe every
Full screen
person
it.
that has everything needs. So for $10, you can get this item.
Pinch
down
to zoom.
And I think it will truly blow your mind. The fact that it's $10 to some people will seem like a bargain. It will.
All right, so which one is the best for viewing video? For consuming YouTube, Nathan, this is what we need to know. The worst one, I'd have to say right off the bat, is the Pixel 3. Something to do with that extra chin and that notch at the top of it. It just seems the most, I don't know, something about it just seems like they did not consider watching videos in mind. Now, that front-facing speaker is super nice. It gives you a crisp sound, but usually in public or even at home, if you have family members around, you'll have headphones in and you'll listen to it using earbuds, not the speakers. But I have to say, in terms of screen watchingness, the Pixel 3 is the worst. It also doesn't get that bright. That's another thing to note. The Pixel 3 lacks in brightness in terms of its panel, so keep that in mind. Between the Note 9 and iPhone XS Max, the Note 9 wins. It just looks better. It has that extremely vibrant screen, and that aspect ratio just, even in normal viewing mode, appears better. And then of course, if you zoom in, there's no notch interfering with your consumption of media, which there is on the iPhone. I'd have to say, watching media, Note 9. So, which one is the best phone? I was going to say the Note 9, but its camera, which is a huge part of any smartphone these days, is sort of lacking compared to the other two devices we have here on the table. So, the best phone, with that being said, the best rounded package, if you can get over the iOS simpleness, is definitely the iPhone. It's just, apps are built for it. It's best at taking video. It's second best at taking photos. If you're a content creator, content consumer, it's just really good. That's it. iPhone. But don't get the new one. Don't get the XS. Get the X. It's cheaper. Half the price. Does the same thing.